Oh, yow. That's way more serious than I was anticipating. Okay, I am going to get ready to mount the basket to the lower unit of my bed rack. It's all painted in truck bed liner. All the holes and brackets are drilled and fitted already. Yesterday I built this aluminum panel for the light, so I'm going to put up there roughly 12 little Amazon pod lights. Once I get it mounted and bolted down, I'll mount the side panels here for that basket that are painted over there. The inside's black and the outside's red to match the side-by-side colors. Then I still want to mount 2 more pod lights on the back for reverse. 2 would probably be enough, but I'm going to do 4. So that's my plan for the afternoon. Then I'll start bolting up lights and eventually start working on some wiring harnesses so I can put them in my dash. And then one more thing I got to do is sand down these oversized washers that are going to go in my quick connect bung holes in for the bed sides that are going to hold down the racks. Then I'm going to paint them in truck bed liner also once I sand down the sharp grooves. That's a stack of 10 of them. Okay, now I'm doing the fit up for the side panels of my roof basket. I got them temporarily put in place with clecos, which is a spring-loaded device. Use a pair of pliers, and it pushes out an inner piece. Then it springs back and holds the panels together. They got a couple pounds of force each, so a couple of them add up pretty good. So I got like 10 clecos, which will be replaced with rivets eventually, but I fitted up before the paint with the outside trim that I put around the panel, which creates a little more of a barrier for the clecos to hold the sheet metal in place. So I'm going to work on this panel on this side and show you exactly how you drill and use them. Okay, I'm putting on the driver's side panel. So I already pre-drilled a couple holes to make it easier. So I got the panel with the trim that's going to be on it finished. I'm using these little clecos. And it's a 3-piece spring-loaded clip that holds force on panels to put them together. So there. That one cleco could hold that panel up, but you put multiple ones in to make sure your fit up is good. There. And like the other side, I'm going to do 10 spots that are going to be close to where I'm going to put the rivets in. What I need. So I drilled the hole through the piece of aluminum angle through the sheet metal. Now put the clip in, it sticks out, and the two little edges slide back over the center pin, which creates pressure to hold the panel. So there. Now I'll continue on for the other. And just a rough example. I got a piece of scrap sheet metal with a hole put in it. So you put your cleco, it's got a ridge on it that the bottom of the clamp goes in, plier goes in, and you press it out, and you put it through the hole. Then it'll pull in. I'll try to give you a side angle view. It'll pull in and pull 2 panels or 3 panels together at once and hold it in. It was designed for the aircraft and aerospace industry. You take them in and out as you need it, so it's a quick way to fit up panels. So if you need to fit it up and take it apart real quick to do some more bending or some shaping to the panels, that's what it does. But it's sturdy as can be. It's just those 5 in, but I'll finish the last 5 on the bottom to match up with these. Then both sides will be getting ready that I can strip them down, clean them, and prime them tonight. Then I'll paint the red to match the side-by-side tomorrow. That's how I'm doing the side sheet metal panels. And they do give you a little more rigidity with it being riveted to the aluminum angle iron that's on the side between the 2 basket sections. And it'll, in the dimples and the holes and stuff, will give it this little sheet metal panel some rigidity as it's riveted, just kind of like a floor or an airplane or a floor in an automobile or an airplane panel. When it's all riveted together, it's exceptionally strong. If you look at bomber seats and stuff that people do for hot rods now, they're all riveted together, so they're crazy strong and compared to welding, and more efficient really. reinstall the trim, which is this automotive trim, and it's got metal clips and it's rubber on the outside. Rivet. Okay, I'm doing some assembly of these pod lights. The last 5 I need to finish my front light bar. So I'm going to adjust. It's an aluminum bracket. There's a nut inset in the back of the lights where the coolant pins are. So I'm opting to put that bolt in, which fits in the bracket so it doesn't turn. And I'm opting to put it on the bottom. Or you can reverse it and attach right directly from the rear, but I'm putting it on the bottom since I'm doing the bottom thing. Then I put my lock washer and the nut on the bottom so I have them when I assemble it. And then you use this hex bolt that you put in the back to catch this nut in the groove. Gives you adjustment back and forth, and I'm going right even in the middle of these two front mounted bolts for the lens, and I'm going right in the middle between them, and I'm setting the front edge of the mounting bracket right in this front groove at the bottom of the light, and just give it a tighten up. So all 10 of these pod lights should be pretty even, which I measured out the holes for. So once again, put the bolt in the bottom mounting bracket, make it even with that groove, take the hex bolt, or the Allen bolt, line that up in the center light, and then we'll snug it up because we're in that bottom groove, last groove in the bottom, and that gives us all the same tilt to all the lights. And I can always come back after if I get the roof rack on and it's too far forward and not enough down in front of me, and adjust it with that screw there. I'm going to install a series of these 4-inch Lightbars. And I'll make the wiring harness later. Now I got my assortment of stuff I'm going to use to make wiring harnesses here. I bought a couple pre-made kits here, but they're definitely not long enough to go from the inside of the cab, from the battery, or the buzz bar ports on these Polaris. These Polaris got these buzz bar system here where you can plug right directly into the system, and it's all protected by a fuse system and that, but I'll put all the extra protection of fuse blocks in line, and yeah, I'll put all the fuse blocks in line with these harnesses and the extra harnesses I need to make, and they'll have all kinds of the protections I need here. So anyways, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown here of all the different parts and pieces I bought. I'm going to try to solder most of the wires together, but I also got these low temp soldering kit here, the shrink wraps and solders at the same time for the stuff I can't solder. I got a variety of switches. I'm going to do a switch for a windshield washer that I'm doing too. Front and rear light bars, and I got an extra auxiliary switch here too that it's going to have like USB power terminals here, 2 of them. That's going to go in the dash. Then I got a bunch of these 3-pole quick connects for the Polaris buzz bar. I got a bunch of these waterproof 2-pole connectors that I'm going to hook up to each pod light, so I don't have to disassemble the complete wiring harness. Each light's going to have one of these on that I'm going to connect in. Let me see here. And a screw cap that goes over and seals with a gasket. So one side will be wired into the wire harness, the other side will be wired into the lights, and they'll be all shrink wrapped. Okay, besides the 2-pole connectors, I got a bunch of other inline fuse systems. I got my sticker panel here for all my different light switches, all the varieties I need. I got a wire loom where I'm going to put all the wiring harnesses run front to back, all in this wire and loom for protection. And I'm going to run it down the driver's side portion of the frame to keep it away from the exhaust on the Polaris. And that way it'll be protected from the heat too. I got, where are those terminals? Over here. Got that type of run that harness in. I think I'm going to loop it down underneath the air cleaner intake. I think that's what I'm going to do. Here, this is where the factory wiring goes. So if I keep it close to that, I shouldn't screw anything up. Make a harness for the whole rack and down through the bed to meet up with these. I believe. At least the back rack, or the back ones in the back rack, by the looks of it. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think the front lights will be long enough to get up through either. So, we need to zip tie this off a few places. Like that. Does that make sense? Take this right out the back. I'll follow that wire harness. Right out the back here. That's what I'm going to do. Down under. see me run the wiring harness up through the dash, underneath the floorboard along the dry shaft cover, above it though. Then I zip tied this back part of the wiring harness to the main wiring harness. And then I cut a slot with a utility knife, smaller than the ones that are cut out, so I can squeeze the switches. Then I got the switches that came from the factory. Then I had to make up a switch for the one that had the panel here with all the jumpers that goes out for the backlights. So top light, backlight, standard light that comes from the factory. Then the harness now runs out back. And I got a wire here that's run down through the bed so I can pull it up through the center there. I got the front light bar here, all done up. I got my heat shrink wrap in place. Got all my connectors, all my different waterproof connectors. 6 of them for the front light bar, all done up. And I got the first amount of wire here done for the wiring harness going back, gauge 10. So 6 different terminals. We're going to see if she lights up. There, all of them lit up. Just got back from the first official nighttime run through the woods. Seen a coyote while we were out, which was neat. Flew the drone to get some overview of the lights that I installed on my roof rack that I built. And I'll give you a little overview of the roof rack. So you can see the side of it here. It's all made out of plate and tubing. And it's dimple dyed to give it a little more lightness and a little more rigidity. Then on the back of the side-by-side, I got 5 LED lights. The 2 outer ones are faced off roughly 45 degrees, so plowing in the winter I can get a real good visual backing up. And I got one that's inner here that shines down, so it lights up the bed a little bit and I can see good and low in the snow. And you can see my gussets, Canadian gusset, middle finger gusset, bottle opener gusset, another maple leaf. And then you can look at my JC Dynamics 3D printed placards. I got a local guy to do them up for me. Now I'm thinking I should buy my own 3D printer. And that's gonna help me build my CNC plasma cutter because there's parts that need to be 3D printed. And if you look up underneath, I got strapped down to traction boards in case you need them. And a good spot to keep them up there. And it gives me extra space for storage on top of them instead of enclosing the whole upper roof rack. And then we can go down the side and we can see the panel I made. It's all hand cut, plasma cut. It's got 4 holes like the sun rising and the sun setting on each side. Some mountains that are made out of a TIG torch and an arrow and a moose along a river. And there's my hand-built doors, my hinge assembly, and made out of Lexan steel, sheet steel. And I'm about to do a project on the windows here where I'm going to do them at a 1/4 inch instead of 8 inch Lexan, and I'm going to tint them. And then we come around to the front of the roof rack, and you can see there we got 14 LED lights. We got some yellow ones to give us some good white, cut down on the white light, and 10 of the light pods, 3-inch light pods, all mounted to aluminum bar on the front of the roof rack. And the framework was all drilled with the intention of dimple dyeing it, but never got around to that. That was 50 some holes. And then I'll show you. You can actually use the tilt. It is a little heavy when it's back tilted, but I am going to probably put a heavier air spring there. But anyways, you see underneath, and I got a plastic rubber damper that sits on the roof, and I got some automotive bumper seals there for my hinge frame that goes along the roll cage for my doors. There, you see it's all basket. So soon I'll get out for a kayak fishing trip, and I'll mount a kayak and all my gear in it, and it should be good to go. There, all locked back into place. And that's all done for my Polaris 1000 at 2022 that I bought during the end of COVID. And the only other upgrade I probably should have done when I bought the 28 inch on B-locks is bought 30s. I think I might upgrade to 30s here before you know it. And all my wiring harnesses, there's 2 separate wiring harnesses. They're all done with plugs, so if I ever have a pod that's burnt out, I can actually just wire a new one of these waterproof, threadable 2-pin connectors. So every light's got a 2-pin connector on it. And I got front and back, and it runs right to my dash. And you can see right here, your normal lights, your front LED bar, and your rear one. So everything seems to work A-OK for me.